Hello, Sex Geeks. It's Reid from readaboutsex.com, guest starring
Allison from
Allison.
Girl6101.com.
Allison Moon from girl6101.com. And I'm sorry I'm off brand today. I have my Cleveland Spiders shirt
Yeah, you do.
on because we didn't think we were going to live cast, but we're live casting. And we're doing it having just eaten lunch. But Allison, what?
I feel like I'm on the wrong side of you. It's hard.
Oh, this is good because we're talk to my hand.
Oh, okay.
Because then the sound gets caught and the wind stays away.
Hand.
Talk to the hand. So Allison, for my birthday, got me a birthday gift of us taking a dancing lesson. We learned the foxtrot today.
I did. You are a fox.
And you trotted away from me backwards the whole time.
In high heels.
In high heels, no less. You didn't really have high heels on today.
I'm wearing heels right now, bro.
Oh, I guess it is heels. Okay, so I'm wrong as usual. And we are, so I wanted to talk about learning curve anxiety. Let's take a quick little detour here. Because it's actually sunny in Oakland/Alameda, believe it or not. Look at all that sun and sky and boats. And we went dancing today, and I have a lot of, I get anxious, not with a capital A, but I have anxious feelings come up whenever I'm trying to learn something new, and it had me be like, ooh, we can talk about this because people, when they're trying to learn new skills in bed, may also kind of, suffer from this learning curve anxiety or just learning curve feelings of incompetence. And most people don't appreciate feeling incompetent when it comes to sex. But when you're learning something new, that's kind of normal. And now we have a little dog here, and now we're by these big boats. So I'm just showing you the lay of the land here, folks. So Allison, do you want to say a little bit about your, dancing and learning new things? But you've danced before.
I have, but it's been many years. I was quite rusty.
Speak to the hand.
I was rusty, but it was fun. It was fun to remember what it felt like. It was fun to kind of dig back into 20 years ago of experience and 10 years ago as a theater person, having to know how to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in terms of sex stuff, I think it's hard because, learning to do something new is scary, and we don't want to do things wrong, and we're afraid of being bad at something. And I think also, as fairly intelligent people who can move through the world fairly easily, of course, everyone's individuals issues notwithstanding, but understanding that for the most part, people who are friends with you on Facebook are intelligent people who are capable of life.
That's you.
Yeah, that's you. So I think it's hard for people who are generally intelligent, capable people to feel like we might be bad at something. Yeah. And we might be bad at something that a lot of people take for granted. And I think sex is one of those things. You're not supposed to learn how to do it. You're just supposed to know, which is completely false.
Ludicrous. And then you can learn by reading a book such as Girl6101. And you can learn, but then the actual act of doing it with another living, breathing human body, then all of a sudden you thought you learned these things, you know it, but then when you actually get in bed to try it, that's when all the fears and the feelings of incompetence and the beating yourself up, let alone there's a whole other body there and whatever they're going through.
And I think, the dance metaphor is actually perfectly apt because you were scared of fucking up. You were also scared of fucking up in a way that would make you lose face with me. Right? Because I had a little bit more experience, I was a little bit more adept. So you're now you're kind of altering your behavior so that you don't feel like we're that, so you don't disappoint me. Which I think in sex is exactly the same thing. You're not usually having sex with somebody because you don't want to be there. Odds are you want to be there and you want to be doing a good job for people. You want to give them a good experience.
And for most people, not all, but for most, feeling anxious or hello puppy. There's a little puppy right here. Feeling anxious is not an erotic turn on. Yeah. So when you're trying to connect with people, that experience emotionally can be disconnected and can make these things feel worse And then when you're with somebody and they feel you feeling worse, not everybody, but most people don't feel better by you feeling worse.
Right.
Now, there are some kinky folks out there who I'm sure would enjoy somebody else's anxiety and find that an erotic turn on, but not everybody.
Yeah, the more you're in your head, the less you're actually listening to people. Again, a metaphor with the dancing today. The more Reid was counting, right? The more he was trying to focus so intensely on the moves, the less I felt like he was paying attention to me. Which was a great example of, again, sex. Like, the more you're stuck in your head of like, oh, they don't like me, or oh, I'm doing a bad job, the less you're actually paying attention to somebody else's experience.
Still in your light there. So the other thing, so the good news now that you've identified all this,
Pet the puppy.
you can pet the puppy. He keeps bringing you like a rubber thing to, he keeps bringing that thing to you. The dog is trying to communicate to Allison. Has no anxiety whatsoever about wanting to play fetch. And now we've lost Allison completely. So let me talk to you, my faithful listeners, while Allison plays fetch. So the good news is, with the anxiety piece, or however you want to identify it, the feelings of uncomfortableness, the feelings of that you just suck at something. Again, there's a big range for what anxiety actually is and how people measure it. But let's just say that you're not feeling confident, and because you're not feeling confident, there's a dip in your competency. How we get into our heads, and then people don't feel connected with, and they can feel like the sex is less than. The good news is that if you stick with the learning curve, if you keep making those baby steps rather than letting the baby steps and those icky feelings stop you, if you keep with it, most people eventually over time do get better at the things that they try to learn. And as you get to be more competent in it, in the same way that, for me with dancing, I'll go through my learning curve. It'll feel horrible, but slowly I'll start to get better at it and kind of, get my learning curve actually has a curve where I'm getting better at it and better at the technique, better at the dancing, better at the hand sex or the oral sex or whatever it is that you're trying to learn how to do sex-wise. So stick with it. The learning curve is a curve, and the feelings of anxiety may come back again, but then even there you can learn how to be better at learning and how to deal with, or just at least acknowledge, like, oh, this feeling of horribleness will pass. This too shall pass if I just stick with it. So don't let your feelings, your learning curve, bad feelings stop you from learning. And I think we're going to leave it at that. The dog is now not giving up the thing for Allison to throw, and I think we'll call this a video today. Thank you so much for being our listeners, for watching, and thanks for guest starring today, Allison.
Thanks. Bye.
And we'll leave you here. We'll leave you here with your learning curves, and extend those ideas to the people that you invite into your bed as well, because they may be going through their learning curves. So is it really just bad sex? Are you just bad at sex? Or is it just the learning curve having its way with you? All right, leave a comment, share the video. Bye.